Nothing.
Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.
It's easy feelings long to keep. They get by a minute into force. Oh, I didn't notice it's all getting full. But only when got them by chase. I done got
Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cannabis and Coffee with me, Tamarijuana. It's a beautiful day in these Kootenays, a little bit less smoke. We still have a few fires burning, but can't complain. They've contained the Island Pond fire, which has been burning pretty rapidly for the last 3 weeks, but the smoke has cleared. And speaking of smoke, we have got Bio High Times Cup organizer Rick the Camel from BC Bud Depot with us today. How are you doing today, Rick?
I'm doing very good.
Yes, excellent.
Right.
You're telling me you're a bit hoarse. You've been doing a lot of talking in the last couple of days.
I have been doing a lot of talking. I would love to give a shout out to BC firefighters that are doing a great job. You know, we have quite the situation here in BC with these fires, and I mean these guys are working overtime. They are doing a hell of a job trying to keep our province safe.
They are. We've got firefighters from all over the world. New Zealand,
over the world, even Australia,
Mexico,
New Zealand.
Yeah, you betcha. So a shout out to all of them as well, because we do have listeners that are from all over the world on Lifestyle Radio. So we might have some of their counterparts listening to us in Australia. So thank you guys very much for all your hard work.
Very good job, boys. Very good job.
Now,
Boys and girls. Boys and girls.
Boys and girls. That's absolutely true.
Of course.
So, let's go back to the very beginning. I met you in Toronto at TY Expo probably about 6 years ago, something like that.
I'm thinking it's 7 or 8 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. So
It's been a while.
How did you get yourself into the movement, Rick? Like, how did you kind of get yourself catalysted into cannabis?
To be truthful, it started many years ago, back in the 90s for sure. Right? You know, where it was, I was a grower, definitely a grower at first, more of a guerrilla grower. And then I got more into where it was growing specific genetics, seeds, and stuff like that. So as the movement grew, I grew too, you know, like, sorry, my voice is gone.
No, that's okay.
Everybody knows my voice is deep, but this is a little gone right now.
So BC Bud Depot has Supreme Seeds. Never mind. You know,
we've been around for a while. Me and BC Matt have been together, working together since at least 2003. You know, doing collaborations and everything like that. It seems like quite a while now, right? Especially through thick and thin, and through what the business has developed into. You know, of course, everybody is hoping, you know, that our federal government comes up with a legalization plan next year. It's part of it. I am not a true believer that they will come to the perfect point. You know, some people are saying, oh, this is going to be this is going to be this. And I'm still one of those doubters that we're still going to have to fight for every point that we need.
Yeah.
Every seed we need. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they're already trying, you know, with the medical program, too, that you have to produce your genetics from the LP. And it's like,
Yeah.
no. Like, I know we're, that's what their ideal thing is to get your, and the pricing but, let's face it, the good old seed banks that we've had around for, so many years have always been the go-to, right?
Well, and this is what this is the part of business that, we're sticking to. We are a genetics company, right? And we have developed genetics for a long time, and that is what we're hoping that everybody can at least still grow their own.
Absolutely,
where
yeah.
it's not developed in somebody else's lab. People can go to their own backyard. They can go to their own closet. They can go and do their own thing, and they can produce their own medicine.
Right. And that's the thing with so many of these new genetics that have been, spread specifically for CBD, high CBD, low THC for specific afflictions. And that's what you guys have really been working on too over the last 10 years is really, specifically genetic making for specific strains for specific afflictions, right?
Well, the development side is a little tough. We do have many CBDs. Strains, but with the development side, yes, you do get overwhelmed sometimes where this is needed, that's needed, and it's like, okay, so what are we developing next? What are we working on next? What are we doing next? And it would be nice to have the government backing to say, this is what you're allowed. This is what you now can have. This is what is regulated, guidelined, whatever purpose, it is.
Right.
Right? And to have more than 4 plants per person is necessary. That's for sure.
Right. Well, I mean, as a grower myself, I know that 4 plants really isn't, when you're doing your 3 stages, let's face it, you can't really cut 3 into 4. You know what I mean? Without it being 1.5. So how do you grow 1.5 plants when you do a 3-stage? So to me, it doesn't make any sense logically where you wouldn't have 6. At least then you can have 2, 2, and 2, which, but the government, again, doesn't know how this really works. I don't think anybody's actually walked into, somebody's hydroponic store per se and say, okay, well, how do you grow cannabis?
And are they going to let you have clones from your plants? Or are they going to, what is the logic in their heads right now?
Right. Are you going to have to start from seed from, in spring till fall kind of thing and only be allowed to grow outdoor? Are they going to, and again, we've asked this question a number of times on the show. How do they plan on policing it? Like, do they plan on putting, 100 centimeter measuring sticks on their pants so they can run around everybody's backyard, make sure that they don't have.
I've heard that one lately too. It's there's going to be a height measurement. It's like, really?
Right.
Somebody's going to come and measure the height, really?
Right. So, hence again, the sea of green where some of us know how to, pull our plants back and, make it so it can be like a vine because, cannabis will grow like a vine if you, scrub it right. Pull it back.
For a reason. It is called weed for a reason.
Absolutely. So, with that being said, how many people are going to actually follow those regulations? And are they going to be banging on your neighbor's door because you might have 5 in your basement? Because not everybody's going to grow outside. Let's face it, the growing season in Canada is not ideal for cannabis. Like when it comes to the 12 and 12 light spectrums that you need for bud, out here in BC on some portions you can get there. But I mean, for myself, by October 31st, we've got frost. And I'll tell you, my plants are not outside any longer. Like they are being brought in because there's just no way.
Well, and that's the thing is what happens to your medicine when you need your medicine in February or March here in Canada.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you've already run out of medicine by December or January, and you need your new medicine by February or March.
Right.
Are they coming around with their measuring stick? Are they coming in your house for inspections? What is going to be the guidelines to all this?
Well, is everybody that's going to be growing have to register with the government like the patients do? Is a question I've been asked too. Like, how are they even going to know we have 4 plants? Are we going to have to register with the government? And that's a good question because as patients, we have to apply. We have to go through this long process of waiting. It's not the paperwork so much that's long and anonymous. It's the wait. And waiting 6-7 months to get your garden, and then you still, February and get up and going. But never mind the fact that, say you put your paperwork in February and they don't send it back to you till August, like myself per se, I'm having to renew again in February. So that means I'm back to the doctor in November, back to, having to put my paperwork back in, and then maybe get my paperwork by next August again. So I think that's the longest process we've got right now. But in hindsight, what about the people like when the recreation legalization does come into effect? Is everybody going to have to register with the government to let them know, hey, I've got plants in my garden, giving the door wide open to the police come in and searching your house for absolutely no reason, just to come see your plant?
And is it just going to be federal, or is it going to be provincial inspections, municipal inspections, city inspections, town inspections? Where is it going to stop?
Right, and like power inspections, do you have is your electricity proper? Do you have proper ventilation? So, I see job creation for government employees, that's one thing, which means more taxes for the average person, right?
Yeah.
But in hindsight, how do they plan on regulating any of this? That's been a huge question for a lot of people.
And once again, it's called weed for a reason. Because it grows like a weed.
It does.
Is somebody going to come through your backyard with that measuring stick? Is it going to be a bylaw officer that you got to fucking... Sorry, mind my language, I'm sorry.
No, you're supposed to jerk. You can swear, it's all fine.
Sorry. Is it going to be a bylaw officer that you're going to have to wink at? And it's like, hey, buddy, come on in my backyard and, measure my plants.
Well, we were talking about this last weekend.
Okay.
That if you have 6 plants, the fine will be $200, right? With non-criminal, right? So you can either spend, there's lots of doctors out there that you can charge or whatever to get your license, right? So pay $300, say, to get your 10 grams a day license, so you can grow 50 plants, or keep growing 6 and keep getting $200 fines. By the time you're done with it, you're going to have thousands of dollars in fines when you could have just gone with the medical program. But then again, a lot of people don't. Right, but a lot of people then, on the other hand, can't get that medical license, don't have an affliction for medical licensing. Those will be the people that are going to be stuck in that cusp of 4 plants and being stuck in that cusp of paying fines at $200 a crack, right?
Mm. And I know the latest one this week was, the chiefs, let's say the police chiefs, are saying it's going to be a zero tolerance policy for driving. Mm-hmm. That is not right. Mm-mm. People are on medicine all the time. I'm watching 2 bridges full of cars right now where I live. How many of those people in cars are on different types of medical situations?
Oh, right. Absolutely. You have to take a vitamin, you take a drugs.
They're going to tell us with our medicine that it's zero tolerance.
I know, that's ridiculous, because for a chronic medical user, it's not an impairment. And I think that's what people don't understand. And they, alliterated over the years, time and time, it's not like alcohol. The impairment is completely different. There are some people...
It is different for sure.
Yeah. There are some people that cannot handle cannabis. There are some people that can't handle alcohol. But we really have to start taking the label off all drugs, including alcohol, and quit demonizing everything so that we can understand it and accept it a little better. Drinking and driving is one thing that there's just no consideration for that, because the fact that you are impaired. You can watch people as they falter sideways when they drink, but that's how that affects them. Cannabis doesn't affect them the same way, right? So,
and it's true. Now, I'll be the first to say, if I eat a giant edible, I should not be driving. But there is certain points where as a responsible adult,
right,
what is your limitations and what you should be doing.
Right, absolutely. I can't say as I don't drink and drive, and I also don't eat and drive. You know what I mean? I don't smoke in my car either. That's one thing.
No, you know what? I don't do the same. I do not smoke in my car.
No, I don't smoke.
I do not toke away and drive.
No, I don't either. I've got a son too. I got, having a child in the car, I don't smoke cigarettes in my car either. So I just don't smoke around him, period. Like, we just don't smoke around him, period. And that's just for his health, because, smoking, like vaping is totally, different. And we'll get back to that after. We're going to take a quick break here right now, and then we'll be right back with Rick. Just give me 2 seconds. I'd like to thank my sponsors, who are 12 High Chicks Magazine, Remo's Nutrients, MUM, Maritimers United for Medical Marijuana, Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society, the Haley Rose Foundation, United Coalition, and the Hideaway Orchard B&B. We'll be right back with Macy Gray, Smoke 2 Joints.
All right.
Following is a public service announcement from the Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society. The Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners Society is a non-profit organization dedicated to ensuring improved access to therapeutic cannabis and cannabis byproducts in Canada. With a federal government that has committed to legalizing cannabis, we feel it is our duty to ensure that the medicinal use of cannabis doesn't get lost in the process, and that there are clear distinctions made between the medicinal and recreational use of cannabis. It is our mission to ensure that government regulation doesn't get in the way of a sick, disabled, or terminally ill person's right to use or produce this amazing natural health product. If you would like to get involved, you can contact us on the internet, www.canadiantherapeuticCannabisPartners.com, on Facebook, CTCP Society, or search Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners.
The most important meal of the day. What's the matter?
There's no prize in here.
What?
Well, that's just lame.
I hate that. I remember in the 70s, there was a prize in each and every cereal box.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
You know what? I've solved that problem.
How'd you do that?
With this. The Supercharged Kit. Brand new from Remo Nutrients. Each and every Supercharged Kit contains 1 liter Grow, Blue, Micro, Velo Kelp, Magnifical, Astro Flower, and Nature's Candy. You also get a shot glass, a syringe so you can accurately measure your nutrients, a sticker, a feed chart, and a prize in every box.
Oh, yeah!
What'd you get?
I got a Remo Nutrients lighter leash.
Sweet. Hey, Mikey, he likes it.
Hey, I got keys in my Supercharged Kit.
I think those are mine. The Supercharged Kit is available at your favorite hydroponic retailer. Get yours today.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
She was living in a single room with 3 other individuals. One of them was a male and the other two were females. God only knows what they were up to in there. And furthermore, Susan, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to learn that all 4 of them habitually smokes marijuana cigarettes, reefers that is. I smoke 2 joints in the morning, I smoke 2 joints at night, I smoke 2 joints in the afternoon. It makes me feel alright. I smoke 2 joints in time of peace, and 2 at time of war. I smoke 2 joints before I smoke 2 joints, then I smoke 2 more. Smoke cigarettes till the day she died. Took a big slip of something good to myself. Yeah. Smoke 2 cigarettes the day she died. Ficker. Is he here where you ever caught stepping? Hell no. Ficker. Fick. Daddy, he once told me, you got to be a hard-working woman. And Mama, she once told me, you got to do the best you can. But then one day, I met a man who came to me and said, hard work good, hard work fine, but first take care of you.
couldn't hear you there.
That's okay. We're going to get back on here.
Okay.
All right, and we are back with Rick. We were just actually talking about the High Times Bio Legends of Valley Music Festival over the break. Now, this is actually High Times' first time in Canada for an event ever.
It's their first official event. They have been to other events where they weren't sponsored. So this is the first time that it's the High Times Cannabis Cup Canada.
Mm-hmm. That's exciting. But Legends has been going on now, and Bio Cup, this is their second year, right?
This is our second year.
Right.
You know, Legends Valley is still there.
Right.
And it's all part of it. It has to be Legends Valley Music Festival with the High Times Cannabis Cup Canada.
Right. Now, who are the headliners this year for the music festival?
Well, this year, there's, you know, right away I got to say, Original House of Pain is back. So it's with Danny Boy, DJ Lethal, and Everlast are back together after 25 years. And they're going to be playing on the Friday night. We have Juno nominees like Sloan, the Harpootis and Axe Murderer. We got bands like local bands like Ben Sinister, Isley Freshly. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm sorry. We got Power Clown coming back, Cocaine Mustache. We have Anti-Politic. There's so many great bands there. There's been a little issue with body count. Unfortunately, and one of the members of Body Count got into a very bad car accident.
Oh, my.
Oh, yes. And, you know, people, if they want to look it up online, they can actually do this. But I don't want to get into too many details, but the gentleman has broken both of his legs in the car accident.
Oh, my.
And they did cancel their world tour.
Oh, well, I guess they've got a good reason for it.
Mm-hmm. And part of the world tour was coming to Legends Valley Music Festival.
Wow.
All right. All I can say is to all your listeners is they can look out today and tomorrow, and there's going to be some huge announcements of what artists are going to be replacing, first of all, Body Count, and what artists are going to be announced as extra artists that are coming to Legends Valley Music Festival.
No, that sounds great, Rick. Sounds like a great lineup.
This is what we tried to do, Tamara. We really did try. You know, everybody seems to put on everybody seems to put on some kind of cup festival. And when me and Matt were discussing this, BC Matt is one of the owners of BC Bud Depot, and it was like, if we're going to do this, we don't want it to be the same. We want to have a music festival with a cannabis cup situation, right? And we just don't want to have it one night. We just don't want to have a DJ. We want to make sure we bring in premium acts that appreciate what the business that everybody's into, and the people can come and appreciate what these musical acts bring to the business.
Right.
Right?
Right. Because there are a lot of artists out there that do specifically, you know, sing cannabis songs and are really involved in our movement, and they aren't in the mainstream per se, that you might not hear them on the radio. If you listen to Lifestyle Radio, Al does play a lot of that type of music on our radio station here too. So we get exposed to a little more, like the Killing Time Band, for example, too, out down east.
Sure.
They really, you know, play a lot to our community, and they understand where we're coming from. So I think that's something that's really great, that we, you know, support them so that they understand our community as well, because this is a big industry coming up and coming. And hopefully
I believe the same. It's going to be one of the biggest industries coming along, especially here in Canada.
Right, and absolutely. And you know, with crafting being hopefully part of that whole aspect, where craft cannabis, like I think I'd seen something quoted by John Vergados the other day on Facebook saying, once they change the black market to the crafting market, things should change a bit. So, you know what, if that would be the case, if they would see that, if they want to bring everybody in to have it so that it is an industry that we can all work in, would be a lot easier for everybody, right?
And it is funny, some of the, let's say, back flack or flack that we get from musicians. It's not the musicians usually itself.
Right.
It's the agent or something like that, where it's like, oh, this band can't play a pot festival. This band can't play in front of cannabis people. Yeah. And it's kind of like, what are you talking about? This band sings about cannabis. This band sings about pot. And it is funny, some of the hoops, the red tape that we have to jump through just to make a band sign.
Wow. That's interesting. That's interesting.
It is interesting.
Yeah. Is there industry regulated in a certain way? Like, because it's okay for them to drink or sing in front of a bunch of drunk people, right? And at concerts they sell alcohol. You know what I mean? So what really is the difference? Because of the legality, I would imagine, is because alcohol is legal right now and cannabis isn't. So that might
I think that's what they're afraid of. That, the people who manage are who their agents. They're afraid that they're going to get trouble. They're afraid, there's going to be flack. They're afraid of police, and it's like, so, how is this going to be okay? How is this going to be protected? Is all their questions. And the band who sings about marijuana, who sings about pot, all of a sudden there's not allowed to play at a concert that has marijuana, that has pot, that has edibles, right? Right.
And I mean, like I said, I guess to a point, because of the laws around cannabis would make, sense to a point. I still think it's ridiculous, but it's just,
some of it's just ridiculous, Tamara. Come on, we've talked about this. That's ridiculous, some of this stuff.
Absolutely. Like, most of the laws, like I said, the only thing that's wrong with cannabis is the laws against it, in reality. Because people that are hardworking, tax-paying, out every day, like fighting the fires, you can guarantee that those boys are better off, having a toke at the end of the day after they don't know, than, slugging back a few beers. Like, I mean, all the power to you if that's what you want to do, too. I'm not disputing that, having a couple beers is wrong. It's sociably acceptable and go ahead. But, there's the hardworking, tax-paying people that, use cannabis on a regular basis. And
on a regular basis, and they have to hide it, still in their basement, still in their backyard, hiding behind a bush. Like, why as an adult do you have to do that? Right, absolutely. Like I said, festivals like... Oh, go ahead. Right. Especially with the choices that some of the doctors give you nowadays for your pain relief, for your mental relief. Like, all they're offering is pills. They're addicting. You can't just take, Effexors and for your mental health wellness and then just expect to be able to just take them and put them on the shelf. You have to wean yourself off them, just like you have to wean yourself off opioids. So your doctor shoving antidepressants down your throat is no different than anybody shoving painkillers down, opiates and everything else down your throat. Like, and I don't think some people really get that. Right. You can't just get off that stuff. A lot of people don't get that. A lot of people don't realize that, like, the doctor that you're going to, and he keeps giving you prescription after prescription after prescription, he is the biggest dope dealer there is. Absolutely. But it's like people like yourself, too, having these festivals, having, like, the big, name bands coming out and supporting the cannabis community, showing the mainstream that we are just like everybody else. Like, I think I said the labeling. I hate labeling. It just is something that I think man should just forget about, period. And just go with the flow, right? Everybody does what they're going to do, whether you drink, you smoke, you do this, you do that. Quit labeling everybody. If you're an adult, you should be able to do adult things. That's right. And I'm just tired of labels. It's something, I don't want to be called a patient either, quite frankly. I'm somebody who chooses to use cannabis for my health. I hate that patient label, too, because I'm not sitting in a hospital bed, you know what I mean, with intravenous hooked up to me.
I'm functioning. I'm healthier now because I use cannabis as a medicine. So I'm not a patient. I mean, I know that's one of the labels that some people like to use. I don't like that label. I'd rather be I use cannabis for my health reasons. Period.
And are they going to take your license away because you're a patient of medical marijuana?
They have not.
Is this what's coming?
Well, yeah, exactly. Like, do I want to have a medical license so that I can? But that's the thing. Are they going to start drug testing us before we get a driver's license too?
Yeah.
Like, how far are they going to go?
Yeah, how far are they going to go? Are they going to make you pee in a bottle once a month because you might smoke marijuana?
I know these are dreadful thoughts that could come along with regulation, though. That's a darker side of what they could really do to make it.
And it is part of that darker side for sure.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, now, and then you got guys like Neil Magnuson here in Vancouver who is trying different situations, and he has the Cannabis Substitution Project.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
I
Neil
don't know if you've seen the pictures lately.
Absolutely.
He's gone from 10 patients to a lineup 2 hours out the door. There is like 600 patients waiting every time Neil sets up his table.
I know. And let's also say congratulations to Neil for having his charges stayed. I've seen that yesterday as well, that the prosecution stayed his charges for the trafficking in the park during 420.
It was good to see that, yeah.
Yeah, so congratulations to Neil on that. I mean, that's a really good thing to have happen to him because, Neil works really hard. I've known Neil for many years.
Neil works
and he deserves
really hard in this, man.
Yeah.
It's
and he deserves
to have guys like that where his heart is truly, truly, truly for the patient, for the victim, or somebody who needs it, that's where Neil's heart is, and I will give always big shout-outs to Neil Magnuson.
Yeah, I've had him as a guest on my show. I've had him as a guest in my home.
He's been a guest in my home, too.
Yeah, and I love Neil. They stopped in to see me last summer, too, or I guess it was a fall when they were heading to Prairie Harvest Cup, him and Roxy. So I've seen them I've seen them in the last little bit, too, but I love Neil. He's working really hard. But Van Du, in conjunction with harm reduction in Vancouver, which is a huge step, too, let's face it, to have the Van Du allow them to come in and set that table up is a huge step, which is showing the municipality, which is showing people in Vancouver that cannabis can be used as a substitution. We went into the MLA's office here a month and a half ago too, and we're looking at talking to them about a program with harm reduction as well as using cannabis as a substitution in a treatment center. Because we wanted to look at opening a treatment center in this area. Because in reality, we have 4 treatment centers in the province. They have 4 treatment centers, they're public, that you don't have to pay thousands of dollars for. But the treatment options in BC and Alberta are very limited, and detox centers are very limited. So it's on the ground, grassroots, people like Neil Magnuson and the harm reduction centers and the safe injection sites that are really making a difference. And I think that's what we really have to give kudos to these people in harm reduction, period.
And you know what? Just in the area Neil has been working, maybe it doesn't correlate, but in my mind it really does. There has been a reduction of deaths just in the area that Neil works. I believe
that.
And you know what? In my heart, I believe, I talked to Neil last week, I think he really believes for sure that this is helping. This is helping. And, a cannabis substitution to opiates is all part of it.
Absolutely. Well, in the East Kootenay, we have the lowest rate of overdoses. We've had 3 in the last, and that's phenomenal for, we only have a 20,000 population in Cranbrook alone, but we've had 3 fentanyl overdoses in the last year here, comparably to, the hundreds that happen daily in Vancouver, right?
Well, yeah, and you know what? I've seen it with my own eyes. Even as you're just driving, ambulances and fire trucks are breezing by you. There's people in parks pointing to people lying on the ground.
That's
and it just breaks your heart. It breaks your heart. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. It is. But it's people like you two that, run the BC Bud Depot that make these genetics for people to keep growing cannabis as medicine. So you should really, and that's the thing, like you're instrumental in our industry. BC Bud Depot is very instrumental in our industry and has been for a very long time because of the genetics that you put out that are, helping grow medicine for patients and for people that use cannabis for their health or for recreation or for whatever reason you choose to use cannabis, because overall that plant from top to root is beneficial. It doesn't matter what part of that plant you're using.
We definitely believe in that where it's like people's personal use and personal choices are theirs, but when it becomes a doctor's choice of what they're hooking you to, and they say keep taking these 4 pills a day, 5 pills a day. Some people need that. I understand.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
but when it continues over and over and over again, and there is no way to release that person from the pain, well, shouldn't there be another solution? Shouldn't there be another avenue? Shouldn't there be another way that these people can get off the program that these doctors think they have to prescribe to everybody?
That's right. Well, we're going to take another quick break, Rick, and we're going to be right back after a brief message from 12 High Chicks magazine, or my sponsors, Ramo's Nutrients, Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partners, Mum, Haley Rose Foundation, and we're back with the Royal Kush Band, which is another Canadian band with Brown Dirty Warrior. A Brown Dirty Warrior. We'll be right back.
I think Royal Kush Band was at her thing last year.
Were they? That's awesome.
Yeah, I think so. I can't remember all the bands, but yeah, I think they were there last year.
That's awesome.
Right, so, right, we make sure we try and keep the Canadiana involved.
Well, yeah, that's exactly.
Right, so so it's just not American bands that are there, right?
Brown Dirt Warrior is what it's called.
Oh, I thought you said Royal Kush Band.
No,
sorry.
Royal Kush Band. No, that's who it is. And the song's name.
What you're looking for, just let us know and we'll find it for you. Visit our store at... Hi, it's Deb from BMA Hydroponics. Whatever you are growing, from vegetables to medicinal cannabis, we have everything you need to succeed. From seed to harvest to processing and extracting, we carry all the brand name products that will help you produce, process, and consume high-quality medicine. Our knowledgeable staff of qualified growers have decades of experience with home production, and all possess either MMAR injunction status or an ACMPR registration certificate. We offer the largest variety of products available anywhere, and if you don't see what you're looking for, just let us know and we'll find it for you. Visit our store at 404 Maitland Drive in Belleville, Ontario, or visit our website at bmahydroponics.com. We can be reached at 613-967-9888, Monday to Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/BMAHydro and drop us a line. At BMA, our motto is your success is our success.
Hang up and try again.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
Sweat on my brow, I'm down on one knee. Another day in the life of a seed, humming my song while I'm planting these trees. Damn, don't you love the smell of weed? Won't find me kicking up my feet in some royal palace. I spend my day trying to pull my weight, live and die by the callous. I got that hard drive, a 9 lives, baptized in the highest of highs, rolling these bushes, renders, oils, and hatches. Roll it up quick, I get cinder and ashes. Butts in the front, and nugs in the back. The water's in the jug, and there's lunch in my pack. My motivation's motivating me, cause it's 110 degrees. Roots go down and the sun comes the knowledge and experience. Ganja farmer, keep your head down. The harvest isn't here yet. Fix the soil, I pray for the rain. I hope those thieves don't come back again. Gonna show you the ways of brown dirt. Throw up your hands and let me hear ya.
It's that time of year, soil's ready to go. I'm ready to grow. Some plants line them row by row. It's a clean slate, legislative gate. While they pass laws, I pass vegetative states. So I keep my ears open for the cops flying. Kush poachers might get popped for trying. They need to respect the trade. Shovel full of dirt and I reset the spade. Blood's fattened up nice. It's the advanced nutrients. Smelling ripe like the plant is a doobie, but its harvest isn't here yet. So don't crack no beer yet. The trichome's still clear, yes. But this kush gon' be serious. Let us show you the ways of brown dirt. Throw up your hands and let us hear ya.
Roots go down and the sun comes up. Then comes the knowledge and experience. Ganja farmer, keep your head down. The harvest isn't here yet. Fix the soil, I pray for the rain. I hope those thieves don't come back again. Gonna show you the ways of brown dirt. Throw up your hands and let me hear ya.
Sit on my bed. Hello. Okay, and we are back on the air with Rick from BC Bud Depot, and I just had a very special guest walk in my door, so we're gonna I'm not even gonna see who it is right now, but we'll get back to the High Times Cup. So the bands are all lined up. You got some special big announcements coming up in the next couple of days to some more headliners and everything else. And you got sponsors that are lined up for this as well, right?
We have, of course, we have many sponsors. Last year we did have a few international sponsors, but of course this year now, since we've announced that it's High Times Cannabis Cup Canada, many more people are jumping aboard. Everything from raw papers. We have Giza coming back. We have, of course, we're going to be there, BC Bud Depot. We are going to have 40x40. All right, it's part of the deal. They always have to give us a 40x40 tent. Yay!
Yay! That's awesome.
So you can come visit our tent. We have joining in our own tent. We have 420, right, from California, a vape pen company. We have Angela Devine, who is our couture clothing girl. She takes our T-shirts. Tamara, you wouldn't believe some of the clothes this girl makes.
Wow.
Right? She takes T-shirts and makes them into the best women clothes you could ever imagine. Right?
That's awesome.
We can't believe some of the stuff she does. So anybody that's going to the show, make sure you come visit the BC Bud Depot tent.
That's awesome. So this starts August the 24th, correct?
It actually starts on the 23rd for VIPs and vendors only. Then on the 24th, the gates open for Legends Valley Music Festival.
Oh, awesome. And there's camping available and everything there for everybody, too. So you want to give everybody a little rundown on what all is going on? Okay,
so we have always a Cannabis Expo, which is they make us enclose with more fencing, whatever the fencing means, that you could go into a Cannabis Expo if you're 19 plus, right? You can go sample wares, you can go see what these companies have to offer, right?
Awesome.
Everything from extract companies to, there's fertilizer companies, there is genetics companies, of course, and there is such a mix and mash of companies. And this is what we tried to do. We wanted to make sure that there was a location with a giant music festival that, cannabis companies could, show their wares, could sell their wares. And the red tape that we had to jump through last year and even this year is unbelievable. This is part of the reason my voice is gone.
Wow.
Just the talking every day, every official to stroke whoever it may be that day,
Right. And you're on the island, like this is on Vancouver Island.
On the island, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it's everybody from, of course, the local fire department, local police department, the local health department, which can be one of the most extreme compared to all the rest.
Right.
They put up rules to everybody. We don't want no edibles. We don't want no open food. There's not allowed to be a slushy machine there.
Oh no! Wow.
Mm-hmm.
That gets really kind of frustrating, doesn't it? When you have certain aspects of what you want to do, and then you're told no.
Yes, and it's no, always.
Wow.
Always. And then you have to go through each channel and say why it's a no, and fight for the no. All right? It's like, wait a minute. Why wouldn't you do this? Why are you saying no? And it's funny how they always have some kind of rule or regulation that they think is right, and it's like, wait a minute, that is impeding on somebody's freedom. That is impeding on somebody's choice.
Right. Absolutely.
And that should not be, and especially for a so-called taxpayer-paid worker.
Right. Well, I mean, I guess if everybody has their food and health safety, certificates and everything else, there shouldn't be a problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's...
They do have to. They do have to. Mm-hmm.
Right.
We have to ask for that. It's part of it. But because of the cannabis aspect of it, even though these people go get their license, even though people go get this, they jump through their hoops that they want to jump, all of a sudden it's still no. It's still no. It's still no.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But why is other companies allowed to stay open with their restaurant when they're selling poisons?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that because there's so many other aspects to it. And like I said, I think maybe once there's more regulation in the industry, like, when it comes to health and food safety, more understanding with legalization coming forward, maybe we can just keep educating people. Like, because I think the average, chef per se realizes that canna butter is no different than butter. We've just made a little, infusion to it, no different than infusing garlic into olive oil. It's the same type of, extra, same thing. You just heat it a little, let it sit, and it all infuses, right? So I think once we get take the fear mongering out, kind of like, they're throwing fentanyl into cannabis. We know that's not happening. Right?
It's not happening. Come on, Tamara.
Exactly.
Who smokes fentanyl in their cannabis?
Right, absolutely.
Come on,
exactly. Exactly, right?
I would know after a first toke if there is some chemical in there.
Absolutely. I mean, but here's the thing. Is it going to burn? Likely your joint's not even going to burn.
Exactly.
Right? Like you're putting a chemical. So, here's the thing. But people don't think logically. And that's the worst part about it. They hear big headline, fentanyl in cannabis, and that's all they see. They don't actually read to find out anything more, educate themselves anymore past that headline, right? And I think that's the thing with cannabis is over the last 20 years. In the last 10, I've really seen progress, though. Like, considering from where I started in 2007 to 2017 now, we really have made some headway. The marijuana program has changed twice. We've gotten legalization on the table, whether we like the legislation or not. Like, let's face it, I'm not really pleased with all the aspects of what that legislation says in any way, shape, or form. But were we talking to Stephen Harper about marijuana legislation or regulation? Was there no. Absolutely. So I would like to give kudos to every one of those cannabis activists across this country that called their MP, whether you were an activist or not, whether you wrote a letter to your MP, whatever you've done in the last 10 years to help bring us all to where we're heading now. And that's huge steps. Like I said, 5 steps forward, 3 steps back, possibly when it comes to a lot of things. Dispensaries being raided, I'm not, I'm not
happy about that at all.
At all. Right? So, but then you got one closing, you got 5 opening, and it's kind of like the old saying, you shut one down and there's 6 more waiting to come in the back door, right? not always on the right aspect of that either, but they are not going to shut us up, whether they want to or not. It's not happening because you're not done yet. BC Bud Depot's not done yet. You don't.
No, we're not done yet at all. We got we got lots of stuff in the works.
Absolutely, and and I know a lot of other people that are out there that are not done yet either, and I'm not done yet. I still got a little bit of fight left in me. So until these legislations are back to the way we would like to see them, I think that we still got some work to do. But I would like to say that over the last
fine example is where the Canadian Council of Police Chiefs are asking for more money so they can stop more people on the road.
Yeah.
And ask them if they have cannabis.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. That means they have
more
budget. Police. Yeah. And they need more policing because out here we don't have enough police to let's put it this way. There's not enough RCMP out here to catch all the traffic violations that are going on the long weekend on the highways or the fire regulations that are going on. So do you really think that they're going to have budgets to be able to actually put more RCMP into effect to stop people from smoking cannabis? It's not going to happen because the money is not there.
I hope not. I really hope not. I do not want my taxpayer dollar going to that. I don't mind them. Hey, I support police in what they do. They got one of the toughest jobs there is.
In place for everything, right? We need them.
But yes, to actually say that we are going to target one type of people because they smoke marijuana or cannabis or anything like that is wrong. Like, it's wrong. They have a job to do. If you're impaired on the road, then yes, you should not be driving.
Right. Absolutely.
Right? I believe that. But to actually say we are going to set up roadblocks, there's going to be zero tolerance, right? What's zero tolerance mean in our industry, our lifestyle?
Well, here's a little story, backlash. Usually it's cannabis smell that gives everybody away, right? And I remember a time back in the day where my girlfriend and my mom worked for the RCMP for 30 years, right? And she always would come in and, about the pot smoke and everything else. So one time I went out and smoked it out of the house and made sure I brushed my teeth and washed my hands. And she'd come in about 5 minutes later and I'm talking away to her and I looked right at her and I said, "I'm stoned, can you tell?" And she just kind of looked at me like, "What are you talking about?" It's like, because she couldn't smell anything, right? So she's talking away to me like nothing was any different from any other day prior, whether I had smoked one or not. And she couldn't tell the damn difference because she couldn't smell it. So, you know what I mean? So how are these police going to, ask back if you, smoke a joint, you're going to brush your teeth and go have a shower?
Are they going to swab your mouth as you're driving? Are they going to swab everybody's mouth?
What if you got a piece of gum? You got a piece of gum in your mouth?
Yeah,
what are you going to swap with that? That's what I mean. Ridiculous aspects of how they plan on fixing and regulating any of this is beyond me.
And not only that, there is false positives all the time,
Absolutely.
It's part of it. What if somebody was eating hemp seed that morning with their cereal?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they going to be in trouble? Are they going to lose their license? Is their car going to get towed away because they were eating hemp seed that morning?
Is that swab going to be able to tell the difference between THC and CBD? Is that swab, exactly. So where are they going to draw the damn line on these regulations? And where do you think that the policing is actually going to go with this? And I hate to say that, but as you leave High Times Cup next weekend, or when you're leaving the 27th, be sure you're going to have a road check stop out front.
They'll be there. They will be there.
They'll be there to check you as you're going in the door. They'll be there checking you as you leave the door.
Same as last year. This year, they'll be only checking for alcohol.
Well, there you go.
They don't have it right now where they can actually check for cannabis consumption.
Right.
But that's coming. I believe that is going to be part of the federal program where it's, where they're going to be checking for that. And it's like, how do you check?
They do have, they're testing right now, right? They're testing in certain areas of the country, these marijuana machines or whatever they're using, blow machines, to see if they're working. And you can actually tell, I guess if you smoked a joint, they're doing just it's just a random whatever. And if you have smoked one and it doesn't regulate or it does, I think that would be funny. You just smoked a great big fat one, you go through one of their check stops, you blow into their stupid machine. It says, no, you're good to go. How well is that machine working? And I think that's what they're doing right now.
Is that machine a false positive? Is that say yes, no, maybe so?
Yeah,
right?
This is for toxic level. I'd be on the top right of my radar right from the very get-go, right?
Yeah, they from what they're talking about, I would actually have to sit a month to get my tolerances down so I could drive. You know, and we know a lot of people, including some of your sponsors, that are very big smokers.
Oh, yes.
And they would have to wait 2 to 3 months to wait until everything's out of their blood system.
Or would it ever be out of our blood system?
Would it ever be out? Yeah,
like,
exactly.
do you ever get to the point, if you quit after you smoke chronically for 30 years, is it ever out of your blood system? Like, seriously.
It's deep. It's deep in the blood. Right?
Oh, Rick, I'd love to thank you so much for coming on my show. It's been a great pleasure having you on. And again, High Times Bio Hot Cup with Legends Valley.
Well, this year it's Bio Cup Canada rules, but it is High Times trophies. So we are still going with the Bio Cup rules. It will everything will be blind judged. All flowers, concentrates, and stuff like that will be blind judged. All edibles and all that have to be, of course, labeled and shelf and everything like that. But yeah, this year they have, they said that this is more than reasonable, that they want to keep to the rules that we have on the island.
That's awesome. So that is August 23rd starting to the 27th of August. And if you guys are interested, how do they get a hold of tickets, Rick?
They can go to cannabiscup.com. They can go to Legends Valley Music Festival.com. Right? If they're looking for our genetics, of course, they can go to bcbuddepot.com.
Awesome. And you are going to be there yourself at your booth, and there'll be lots of other...
I'll be there, and maybe I've heard that maybe Macho Camel will be there too.
Oh, Macho Camel. He's one of my favorites. That's awesome, Rick. Well, you, again, thank you so much for coming on. And
thank you, Tamara.
You betcha. And you take care. And everybody, I will have Adele Falk next week will be my guest. Hopefully, we'll get her pinned down again. And I'd like again to thank my sponsors, who are 12 High Chicks Magazine, Remos Nutrients, Maritime United for Medical Marijuana, Canadian Therapeutic Cannabis Partner Society, Haley Rose Society, United Coalition, and you all have a great week. I know I am, and the password this week is unicorn. Have a great week, guys.
Everybody have a good time. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So what are you doing? Nothing? Why not?
Trying to get on this Lifestyle Radio website.
Sounds like a cool website.
Yeah, it's alright. Oh, wait, I might have it.
You might have it.
You're listening to Lifestyle Radio.
The opinions expressed during this show are those of the individual participants and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of their associated organizations or Lifestyle Radio.